In this video, we'll discuss why you need to use music in your explainer video, what sort of music you should choose, and also what the thought process in the back of your mind should look like when you're selecting a music track for your explainer video. I will show you a couple of places where you can get some high quality, royalty-free music tracks for your videos, and at the end of this video, I'm going to share with you my personal favorite one that I've used over the years to purchase literally hundreds of music tracks for my clients. I'm Edward Stinga, let's get straight to it. Why is music so important and why you should use music in your video? It's pretty simple, because it communicates something about you, your message, and your brand. And I'm gonna make a parallel here, which I'm pretty sure you've heard before. Whenever two people have a conversation with one another, the actual words that are being used only make a minority of what's actually being communicated. The vast majority of the communication actually happens on another level, which is made of facial expressions, vocal tonality, body language, and a lot of other things as well. And going back to our explainer videos, the same is true for videos as well. Of course, the script and the words that you use are very important, but you can use music to set the tone for the video and communicate emotions much better than words can. So when it comes to selecting a music track for your video, you need to have two questions in mind. And one is there any sort of music genre or style that appeals to my customer base? And number two, is there any musical stereotype for my product category? And to give you a couple of examples about this, just think for example about fashion videos. They usually tend to have some electric pop music. Or think about some urban or streetwear brand. They usually use hip hop music 9 times out of 10, probably actually 10 times out of 10. Or let's say some high-tech startup usually uses some minimal pop. Or actually my favorite example would be, if you imagine a brand for like organic, vegan or healthy food, they usually use music from like singer-songwriters or guitar pop kind of thing. Now that's when it comes to the general genre or style of the music. But you can also think about it in terms of mood or emotion. Because for example, say you're making a dramatic video that's full of tension. You want to have some music that works synergistically with that and sends across the same emotion. Or maybe you're making a corporate video, in which case you might want to go for something more neutral, maybe low-key, something in the background that doesn't really do much. Or let's say, for example, your video is aimed at, young individuals, and you want the video to be fast-paced, full of energy, upbeat, very happy. You don't want to have some sort of sad music in the background. You want to have some music that's full of energy and gives the viewer the same feeling while watching the video. Now, in the end, it's actually pretty simple. You just got to do a bit of research and basically listen to a lot of music tracks on a couple of websites that I'm going to show you in a minute, and pick the one that you like the most and you think works perfectly with your brand. So let's hop onto my computer and have a look at some of my favorite places to get royalty-free music tracks. And remember, at the end, I'm going to share with you my personal favorite one that I use all the time for my clients. Let's get to it. All right, so the first website I want to show you is called Bensound, and it's very interesting. I actually just discovered it recently. And what I love about this one is that it has two models for licensing a track. So for example, let's say you like this one. You can also grab it for free under a Creative Commons license, which means that you have to provide attribution and say music provided by bensound.com. And there's a couple of limitations. Be sure to read the whole license. But for example, you can't use it in audiobooks, podcasts, and so on. But for example, if you just want to be on the safe side and also contribute to the authors as well, you can just purchase a standard license for around 34 euros, which is around $35 or $40, something like that. Obviously depends on the track. Each track is different. But yeah, it has an amazing collection, and I really like this model. If you're low on budget, or you're just starting out, you can just use a couple of tracks for free. All you need to do is provide attribution, which I think is really, really cool. But of course, I would suggest, if you can and if you have the money, definitely purchase a track, because it really helps the authors. The next one I want to show you is Pond5, which is actually a more general website with stock footage and stock photos. But we are going to look at the music section here. If you just go click music, and it's pretty straightforward. You can just scroll down and look at whatever categories they have, or topics or genres they suggest, or just use the search bar to search for example, what I really like a lot in explainer videos, and I've seen used quite a lot in TV ads as well, is ukulele. I don't know how you pronounce that, but anyway, I didn't even know this instrument existed until a couple of years ago, when I heard so many good tracks with it. So yeah, just scroll and check out a couple of those. Check out prices as well. As you can see, we're looking at around $30, $20, $69. But yeah, most of them around $20, $30 pretty much. And the third one that I want to show is a bit of a premium one. It's actually called Premium Beat, as you can see, and it's provided by Shutterstock, which, like Pond5, is a pretty big player in the stock industry, selling stock footage and stock photos. But what I really enjoy about Premium Beat is that it actually shows you a lot of different options. So say, for example, you like this track, right? And it sells for $49, but you can play the full version here, or it's already split into different versions for 15 seconds, 30 seconds, and 60 seconds. So you or whoever is editing the video doesn't have to do any crazy editing, because maybe sound mixing is not your best skill. You can just find a version directly from the author that works perfectly fine in 50 seconds or 30 seconds or 60. And also, you can also get just each particular element itself. They're called stems, but yeah, you can download those separately as well. I mean, that's if you want to go really advanced. Probably not going to use the stems, but the short versions are incredibly helpful, because a lot of times you actually purchase a song which is whatever, 2.5 minutes, and your video is 1 minute, and you just want to end it somehow, and it just happens to be on a high note, and it's pretty hard to end. But yeah, this is really helpful. Alright, so the last one that I'm going to show you is called Audiojungle.net, and this one is really famous and popular. You probably already heard of it or used it before, and what I like about it is that it has a massive collection of almost 1 million tracks and sounds. And as I said, I've used this for my clients to purchase literally hundreds of songs, and it's absolutely amazing. So there are two ways to navigate this and discover new tracks. And one that I use sometimes is I go here on the navigation menu and just explore some of the categories they have. Or more often than not, I just go and check the popular items, because this is a really good way to discover any new tracks that have been added recently and are doing pretty well. Another thing that I do is, let's say you already know what sort of video you're making and what sort of thing you're looking for. So in that case, you can just use the search bar, and let's just say corporate. So let's say we make a corporate video and are looking for some corporate music. And as you can see, that's a lot of results. It's more than 300,000 results. And at this point, it's just a matter of scrolling through all of those results, checking them out, and basically see if you like anything. And you're pretty much going to know as soon as you hear it, you're going to know this is the one, and this is the one that you're going to use. As you can see here, a lot of those tracks have quite a few sales, and that's absolutely amazing for the authors. But personally, I tend to avoid tracks with a lot of sales like this, Because, for example, a track with 15,000 sales basically means that it has been used in 15,000 other projects. And it's got to a point right now where I start to recognize popular music tracks from Audiojungle, and I hear them all the time in TV ads or YouTube ads and other things like that. So a way to get around that is, instead of using best match filter or best sellers, I recently started using this one right here called trending. I'm using it a lot more nowadays, and it's going to show you new items that are trending recently in the past few weeks or months, let's say. And then it's just a matter of checking to see, 289 sales, even 1.4 thousand sales. That's still good enough for me, and I might use it because it's not that popular. But yeah, that's about it. And it's just, as I said, you have to spend a bit of time, check a couple of music tracks, probably going to be 10, 20, 30 tracks, maybe even more, until you find one. And when you find it, you will know that that's the one you want to use. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm, and be sure to subscribe to this channel for a lot more content like this coming soon. This is Edward Stinga from Videoplasty. Make sure to follow me on Instagram as well, and I'll see you in the next video.